Big game studios are restructuring. After a string of high-profile game failures, companies like Sony and Square Enix are pulling development back in-house, tightening oversight and quietly shutting down studios. And suddenly, it looks like publishers are paying much closer attention to what players actually want. So the real question is, have gamers taken back control of the industry? In my last video, I spoke about the game dev crisis, layoffs, studio closures, and why so many developers are going indie. But it looks like there's a light at the end of the tunnel as far as gamers are concerned. Studios are restructuring, franchises are being reevaluated, and a lot of those decisions are no longer coming from someone who isn't the target audience. They're coming from the players. For a long time, power in games meant publishers. They decided what got funded, how it was monetized, and how success was defined. The voice of the players stopped mattering as the gaming industry grew and became more diluted, with things like game story, ambience, gameplay loops being replaced by microtransactions and live service gaming. But that model only works when consumers don't have real alternatives. That's no longer the world we're living in. Today, player feedback is instant, and perhaps even more importantly, very public. Steam reviews, refund rates, wishlists, YouTube impressions. A mixed rating can do more damage now than it historically ever could. And with the advent of AI and progression in technology, companies are watching these signals constantly and a lot more closely, because if they don't, they'll get left behind by the emerging indie devs who are shaping the way forward. This is why, right now, you're seeing games get delayed, reworked, or quietly cancelled by bigger studios. Not because players are louder, but because ignoring them is now more expensive than ever. One of the clearest signs of this shift is the rise of Eastern-made games in Western markets. Not because they're perfect, but because they're focused on their audience, you and me. They provide us with those core foundations that the gaming industry was originally built upon: a clear creative vision, strong single-player experiences, less friction, less monetization clutter, games that respect the player's time, and players are choosing these experiences in massive numbers. And when that happens, modern or Western studios don't get to argue, they simply have to adapt, or else they won't survive. And that's not necessarily down to a trend, that's down to consumer pressure. Another quiet power shift is discovery. Publishers used to control visibility through marketing budgets. Now, one creator, one clip, one community moment can define a game. Players decide what matters, and algorithms amplify it. And publishers themselves are now reacting, not necessarily leading. But I want to be clear here, gamers haven't taken total control. Live service economies still exist. Big IPs still get second chances. Platforms still control visibility. This isn't necessarily a revolution, it's a rebalancing. Power hasn't shifted back to consumers. It's shifted away from unchecked publisher control, and now it's shared between players, creators, communities, and data. And honestly, that might be the healthiest thing this industry has done in years. The last decade has truly shown what can happen if the big players, the big publishers, the studios are left simply unchecked or not held accountable by the gaming community. And this has all been backed up by the data and community feedback. Everything said and done, however, it's important to say that this shift in power is still early, and it's fragile. We're in a strange moment for gaming. Hardware is getting more expensive, partly because the same chips used for consoles and PCs are being swallowed up by AI infrastructure. While at the same time, overall game sales are down year on year, and players are becoming far more selective about what they actually buy. But here's the interesting part. That drop in sales isn't just a bad sign, it's also a signal. Players are pushing back with their wallets. When €100 deluxe editions become the norm, when subscriptions stack on top of microtransactions, people are done talking and they simply opt out. And that's why this moment matters, because it's no longer just about what studios want to make, it's about what players are willing to support. And we're already seeing what that looks like in practice. Players aren't boycotting games loudly, they're just not buying them. We're seeing big budget releases launch with massive marketing pushes, only to quietly underperform weeks later. Meanwhile, smaller games with a clear vision and fair pricing are exploding through simply word of mouth and a small marketing budget. People are ignoring battle passes and instead they're rewarding games that feel complete on day one. That kind of behavior is what shows up in sales charts. And when publishers see that a flashy €100 edition with some digital add-ons and in-game currency doesn't guarantee success anymore, but trust does, well, that's when real change starts to happen. I'm curious, do you feel more in control as a player today, or does it still feel the same it has been for the last few years? Let me know below. I do reply to every single comment. I will be turning this into a series moving forward, so if you like this type of content, let me know by subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. I also have some really cool content that I'm working on at the moment, which I'm planning to release over the next couple of weeks, as well as my devlog series for the game I'm working on, DigiGears, so if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching, drink some coffee, code, and I will catch you in the next one.